Hi friends, Rosebud Stitcher Carol here for episode number 5. Today is Thursday, October 29th, and I welcome you to my channel. A little bit about cross stitching, a little bit about life, a little bit about the stash I've gotten, and so forth. So sit back and enjoy, and welcome. I thought I'd go over what I've been stitching since we last met. At that time I was working on my Coming to America. And as you can see, since the last time we've met, I've gotten all my ladies aboard. And I'm working on the bottom portion of this. So today I'll be continuing on with this until this weekend, hopefully to get some more done. I really hope to get a finish. I don't know if I'll get it done in 66 days. So my ship may be circling around awaiting docking, but it'll definitely get in here by the end of the year. The next thing I was working on was my farms at Hawk Run Hollow. If you saw my whip parade, you might remember that I'm doing this piece as a memorial to my dad, who passed away in July of 2018. And before I started this, I had the whole top done. So if you remember, I'm personalizing it on some of the blocks. Block number 7, and I was working on block number 8. So in the pattern, this is called Grandma Jeans. I decided just to put my grandmother's name, my dad's mom, Flossie, in there. And it said apple butter, and I've put in ham loaf. One of the things during my dad's stay in the hospital during the final weeks of his life, we talked a lot about his growing up on the farm. And one of my grandmother's notorious recipes that she was known for was ham loaf, and we spoke about that. So I thought it would be great to personalize it with that instead of the apple butter. And what I plan on doing, there'll be some apple trees around here. I'm going to put some little piggies in. I'm going to take this little piggy from over here and add them down in here. So that's block number 8. I've got four more to go. And I'm starting to gather my thoughts on my plans for next year, and I'm really thinking about maybe having this as a focus piece for next year, because I would really like to get it done and up on my wall. So that was my farms on Hawk Run Hollow, and then I had a finish. So Tuesday evening I finished up my S. Ward's A Little Rag. So this was a kit by Teresa Vanette, Kitten Stitcher, Shakespeare's Peddler. It came with the floss, and this was a parmesia, kind of a silk and wool. Not my favorite floss, I would have to say. I thought it fuzzed a lot, but it was enjoyable to get to stitch it in a kit, so I learned about it. So that is all complete. I'm thinking my plans to FFO this would be it's called a little rag. I think I'm going to actually maybe just finish it into like a little mat, and then maybe have it kind of laid over a dough bowl eventually, maybe with some red fabric on the backing. So that was a finish. So my plans going for the next few weeks, I will be stitching on Coming to America for the rest of the week. And then on Sunday, I will be switching to my Life After Death Long Dog Sampler. And I'll be working on that for a week. And then the following week, I'll be working on my Linens and Threads Mystery Sampler. And once I get November's done, I'll probably go back to Coming to America. And hopefully we'll visit again that week. So that's my plans. What I thought I'd share with you a little bit today is about how I came about and organized my stitching. I have been stitching since high school. I graduated in '82, so I have been stitching over 40 years. I can't say that every day or always. There were some times I dabbled a little bit more into crochet or knitting, and my cross stitch sat in the back, but I never got rid of my cross stitching. I never totally purged everything. Cross stitching has always lived in my life since then, and it is probably my first love. But I was always wondering how I could organize, keep a record, and this year my group of friends came about that they started with the Happy Planner. So I ran out and purchased one for myself. I don't always, do the months like a happy, most of the people in Happy Planner do, but I found it a great way to organize my stitching, my rotation, the projects I have lined up. So I have 3 little things, tabs. I have my whips, I have finishes for the year, and I have kitted. So in my whips, I have all my active whips. I have about 3 or 4 that I'm really not stitching on. I'm not actively working on them. Some of them are a couple little small items that I would take to lunch, work on at lunch when I was working. Then I have a big Heaven and Earth thing that I haven't touched for a while, but I do plan on getting it back into my rotation. So basically I have a sheet that my friend from my stitching group developed, and I have listed, let me try and get in here real close, the project, the designer, the fabric, the total stitch count, the fabric count, and the date I started it. I did start tracking the time I spent on it, how many stitches I do, and how many minutes I stitch. So I keep a little notebook next to my stitchy spot, and at the end of the day, I count my stitches, and then I kind of estimate the hours. And really, I don't sit there with a timer or anything like that. I kind of know what time I started stitching, what time it is, and I know, well, I took a break to eat dinner, I took a break to do this, I took a break to do that, and I just kind of estimate my hours. So each time I stitch on it, I put that in there. And then when I finish it, I can put my finish date. So this section is in here from my oldest whip to my newest whip, which would be, let's see here. There we go. My newest whip was the plum berries. So as you can see, I wrote down the dates I stitched and the stitches I did and the minutes I did it in. So then once I have a finish, I put it over into my finish thing. So then I'll have a record of all the finishes I had for the year. And then I have a section here where I have kitted projects. And I've got about 5 projects kitted. And I'll share those with you. So, and when I say kitted projects, I mean the bag's ready to go. I've got my pattern in there. I've got the fabric in there. Sometimes I'll have the needle minder that I'm going to use, and my threads in there. Usually I I'm a floss away. I've always been floss away, but this year I switched to using thread drops for the project. So now as I'm kitting things up, I'm putting things on thread drops. I'm keeping the floss away bags for storage. So when I finish a project, whatever's left on that thread drop, I'm dropping back into the floss away bags. So I've got 5 projects here kitted up, and I thought I'd share those with you real quick today. The first one is the Jesus Wept. Sassafras Sampler, Elizabeth Cooper, Jesus Wept. This was a freebie on Sassy Jacks around Easter. I don't know if it still is, but it was a freebie then. And I did have them kitted up for me though. And I've got the fabric in here and my needlepoint silks all on their thread drops. So I think that'll be very lovely. I do tend to cut my threads, especially my silks, a little short, but I just I cut them a little short, but especially with silks, I just find it easier to stitch with them that way. So, and I have to say, I thought, why take all that time cutting all the fibers prior? You know, seems like waste of time. I could be stitching. But I have to say, with Miss Kitty Candy, having them pre-cut works out really well. She never really bothers me when I'm stitching, except when I pull the scissors out. So the less I can have to pull those scissors out, the better. Because she thinks that's her toy for some reason. The next project I have kitted up is, remember I did the Drawn Thread Welcome Winter. I've got Welcome Spring ready to go. This was a kit, so it wasn't too hard to get ready. But I do have, they provided floss cards. So I do have all the silks that they've provided on the cards that they provided ready to go. Oops, excuse me. Let's see here. This project is a Blackbird, Wild and Sweet. Sorry for the glare, guys. I had done one of the other projects from here, and as many of you know, Blackbird, in the booklet, a lot of the fibers are the same, so I just kept it all kitted up. This was still when I was using my floss away bags, so I might, before I really do this, I might just change it out. So that's Wild and Sweet by Blackbird. Then we have, this is another one of Country Samplers Sampler Girl kits. This is from last year, and I think you can now get this. It's from Samplers Not Forgotten, Descending Sun. These are the beautiful classic color works, and the fabric all ready to go. And my last kitted project, and this one was easy to kit because I had already used the threads in another project, is the Merry Chockful. And I've got my classic, beautiful classic color works. and my black slate. So, like I said, those projects are all ready to grab the bag when I'm ready to do a new start. Believe me, this is not all my stash. As you can imagine, after 40 years, I have a lot more than that, but these are the items that are ready to go, and I can pull out easily when I'm looking for a new start, or I can go to my stash and find something else to get out. So, I'd like to share some stitching goodies that I've purchased since our last visit. I kind of have a little bit of a bigger haul, not all cross stitch items, some finishing items, and I'll share about those when I get to them. But the first couple cross stitch items I got another purchase from one of my favorite new Etsy shops, Pumpkin Creek Primitives. You know, she always sends such a nice little goodie bag. Got a little cute little sticker here. You are the bee's knees. And some hot apple cider and some Sweet Dreams tea. And what I got from her is Madame Chantilly Halloween can and that cute little black cat we've got there going on. So that was the only pattern I purchased. I did make a purchase. This is my first time I've purchased from Lady Dot Creates. So I got some cute pom-poms, some red, and some velveteen. So I need to get started on my Christmas ornament finishing, so that's my plans to get started on some of those. And another thing I got this off of Etsy, Laser Craft Shop, are these cute snowflakes. And what I plan to do with those is I'm going to paint them all white. And then the little snowmen that I stitched up for my grandchildren, I'm going to put on a disc. And I'm going to mount the snowman on here. And that's going to be their ornament for next year, for this Christmas. I always give them an ornament every Christmas, either one that I've stitched, or sometimes I buy those ones where I can personalize them, put their names on them. So, got those. So I think those will work out fine for that finishing. And then the rest of my haul. So I think I shared with you that I live in Northwest Indiana, right by Lake Michigan. And over in Northeast Indiana, we have a large Amish community, and they have an area that has a lot of shops. Some of them aren't Amish related, but some of them are. But you can imagine with the quilting area, the quilting that the Amish ladies do, there are some beautiful fabric shops over there. So on Saturday, my girlfriends and I from my stitching group, we made a road trip, a few of us, and got up real early, and it's about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes drive. Drove over there, hit up 3 stitching stores, or quilting fabric stores. We went to visit some of the other little shops, and we also hit up a kind of a what's the word I'm using? Kind of a trash to treasure shop. So I'll share with you what I purchased there. So my main goal that day was to find fabrics for pillowcases. And what I'm going to do with these pillowcases is they're going to be for my grandchildren for Christmas. We kind of, or I kind of, and my husband was totally in agreement with this. We came up with the philosophy after our oldest grandson's first Christmas is kind of, I saw it online, kind of go by a 4-present rule. But I never count the ornaments because I feel like the ornaments, my goal is so that when they go out on their own, they have a box of ornaments that they can have. So, and then they get a stocking too. But we always buy them something to wear, something to read, something they want, and something they need. And something they need usually is Nana's discretion. So last year, all 6 of them got the story of their names. I found this beautiful thing on Facebook. It's called Name Story. It's got a lot of biblical references to it, and I just really thought it was special. And I was able to get it in their favorite colors. So my oldest grandson loves red, so his had his name on it, and the background was red, and then there was writing, and it was like an 8x10 item, and just the story of his name, what it meant, and that sort of thing. And so I got those all framed. So this year I decided they're all going to get a pillowcase. So my main goal that Saturday was to find all six of their the main fabric for their pillowcase. So we've got some dinosaurs. We've got some unicorns. We've got some robots. We've got some horses. Because this grandson, I asked him, what you want for Christmas? A horse. I says, I don't think Nana can buy you a horse. Well, how about a baby horse? So we found some horse fabric, and I found some horse toys, and hopefully that'll make his day. Some cute little kitty cats and some lions for our youngest little guy. So I've got to get 2 more fabrics for each of the pillowcases, and then I'll be making pillowcases for them. And I really hope to put their names along the edge of it, so kind of a memento to them. The next thing I purchased was just some finishing fabrics, some green little meow kitty, some purple, some pretty kitty cats, and some black writing. This is going to be for their kind of Christmas sayings on here, and I'm going to use this for my Merry Santas. And then I purchased some fabrics, and I'm hoping to make some kind of like the project envelopes. Vanna, the Twisted Stitcher, has an excellent tutorial, and I think I'm going to go with those, try making those instead of trying to put the zipper on there. And I think they'd be the right size. I always take my items off the hoop, or if I use a Q-snap anymore, off the Q-snap each evening, and don't store it in the bag. So I think they'll be plenty big enough. So got some lovely kitty cat fabrics. And this cute little bobbin fabric. And I have to say, the lady at Yoder's fabric store in Shipshewana was very patient, because I think all 5 of us got a cut of this fabric. We just thought it was so fitting for project bags or project envelopes. So I got that. And then the next thing I purchased was some quilting things. One of the things I want to do is, learn some wool applique and some quilting. So I thought I would buy a little bit of quilting items. I found this lovely, cute little wall hanging kit called Cat Stack, and it's kind of a combination. It's got some wool applique and some quilting. So I thought that would be a lovely way to get started. And the second thing I found, and I saw this hanging up in the quilt shop, on one of the quilt shops there. It was Winter Frost flannel. And it says advanced beginner. So I took a quilting class years ago. I've done a lot of sewing. I did a lot of sewing, especially when my children were younger. So I showed it to a couple of my friends, and they said, oh, you could probably handle that. So it's called Winter Frost Flannel. Let me show it off here, the pattern. So I just thought it was so pretty, and I purchased the whole kit, except for the backing. But these lovely red, white, and gray flannel prints. Deers and Santas and Christmas trees. And yeah, so it's just snowmen. We got some snowmen here. We got reindeers and trees, sleighs, a beautiful piece. So, not going to be done this Christmas, but maybe get a start on it around in December, but hopefully by next Christmas. But just a lovely flannel quilt. I have a feeling there will be some adult children fighting over it, but it's going to stay at my house for now. And a few more items here. So I found this lovely wool kit. Or not, it's not a kit, it's just a pattern. It's from the Buttermilk Basin. It's called Welcome. And it's kind of got a sewing theme to it. We've got spools, we've got tomatoes, we got thread and needles, we've got our flosses. And I haven't checked out Buttermilk Basin, but I'm hoping maybe there might be the wools that I need to do this, but I just thought that would be a perfect addition to my craft room. And this other thing is there's no sewing involved. So I thought it would be a fun little change of pace. And what it is, it's called Quilt Magic. It's styrofoam. And I bought one that looks like a little camper. And I bought the fabrics to go with it. And basically you just cut out the shapes and then you poke it down in to the foam along the edges. Like you could use like a butter knife for it. So, and it's a vintage camper. I really thought this would be cute to hang in our camper. We have a camper. We seasonally camp down along the Wabash River. My husband's actually there closing it up for the winter. And I just thought it would be cute to hang up in there. Kind of a little color for our camper. So hopefully, I'm hoping maybe I might get to that this weekend. Just kind of for a change of pace. And then at the little resale shop, I found this. Count Your Blessings. I love that saying. It's a little rough around the edges, but I think that gives it character. And this is gonna go sit in my living room. It's kind of the colors we have. We have some black accents, so I just thought it would be perfect. And I think my steal of the day from the shop there was this cute book. It's from the Little Red Hen. It's called Quilting in the Coop. And this, I think it was 2012, but it's got a lot of cute things in it. Little quilts, little blessing maps for all the bee lovers out there. It's got this little mat. Got this cute little quilt. And then some patriotic stuff with some primitive kitties. And laundry items. And the patterns. So, this book, originally almost $20, I got for $1.25. I think it's timeless. If you like the country, the primitive items, I think, it hasn't gone out of style any. So I was quite pleased to have gotten this 4/4 and look forward to spending some time doing some of the projects in there. So I think that wraps it up. I am going to put all this stuff away and get back to doing some stitching today and that sort of thing, and just enjoying the day. It's supposed to get rainy here, but right now we got a little sun, and which is nice to look at the pretty colors. Our yard, our trees, most of our tree leaves have gone away, but there's still some pretty yellows and oranges outside our picture window that I can look at. So until next time, my friends, may you stay well and may you be blessed with stitches. Thank you.